The people, hour two of today's show. I'm Jason Williams, Bill Walter here in the studio as well. And it is a packed hour, so we're going to jump right in. Coming up, we have our good friend Craig Hislop of KVNU and CacheValleyDaily.com had a chance to talk with Dr. Ryan Jackson about CRISPR. This is technology that has led to some amazing advances, and the potential is even greater when it comes to gene editing and the CRISPR technology. Research happening at Utah State University as we speak, but it also comes with a lot of ethical questions when you're talking about gene editing because, well, you know, every science fiction trope ever. We'll talk about that and hear from Dr. Jackson later on this hour. Kicking things off here, though, a part of a regular monthly segment we're going to be doing here on the show throughout the year, spotlighting Logan City School District, courtesy of, the person who arranges and makes this happen every time, superintendent of the schools. And Frank, thank you for that. He's here in the studio, but he's at the back, so he's unable to speak right now. But this is a pleasure to get to do this and to spotlight students and staff. And we'll do this again every month throughout the year. Today, spotlighting the cast, the lead roles, in fact, of the upcoming Logan High School production of Oklahoma. And if I get anyone's name wrong, I'm sorry. But we have, the two leads here in the studio, Cole Watkins and Ella Kellstrom. Did I get that right? So far, so good, right? And excuse me, you are, sir?
Micah Coons.
I'm kidding. Micah here with us also, and Micah, you have been working with these kids and the entire crew for how long now on this production?
We did auditions in end of September.
Wow!
So we started rehearsals back in October, and it's actually about Logan Middle School. So these are
I'm sorry,
middle schoolers. No, it's all good. But we started back in September. No worries. So we've been doing rehearsals 2 or 3 times a week, getting things rolling. We're now 3 weeks from Friday we open, so we're getting very close.
This is Oklahoma. Speaking of it not being high school, as I said, but Oklahoma is not. This isn't an easy one.
No.
It's so How'd it go, guys? Rehearsals. Was this intimidating? Do you want to start us off, Cole? Was it intimidating going in, knowing you're up? I mean, you're up against this production to do it well.
Yeah. I've never really. This is my 3rd play I've ever been in, or my 3rd musical, and so I've never really been a lead. I've only had a couple lines in my other musicals before, so it's definitely pretty intimidating to come into something like that. Never have been doing it before.
Sure. This is and a big production for a middle school as well. Mike, I assume that led to some challenges, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily I have we have a great directing staff. We call ourselves a 3-headed beast. I'm the director, but I have Tana Christensen, who's assistant director, and Jordan Burgess, who's a music director, and she could probably discuss like the music and trying to get the kids to get the music down, because it's not necessarily easy music to do.
You thought you were getting off the hook over there, didn't you?
So I'm the music director, and I have been doing music my whole life, and I was in Oklahoma a couple of times. I played in the pit orchestra at Logan High.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then I played Ado Annie one year at a community theater, and it didn't occur to me, because I'd had so much training, how difficult the music was until I tried to start teaching it to 12 and 13-year-olds.
Sure.
And some of it's in these incredibly difficult keys, and there's a lot of, like, you have to be really supportive in your breath control, and these are things that they don't usually have to do when you're doing a normal kind of middle school play. But we have a really fantastic cast and some kids who are working so hard to learn this really difficult music and to just perform it beautifully. I'm really proud of them.
That is, and again, at the middle school level, I can only contrast this with where I was at in middle school, and I was struggling with building the little woodshop project. The amount of talent that goes into a production like Oklahoma, and getting that together, ready to be performed for an audience. Just hats off for that, for the dedication that at this age is probably not typical, right? Do you have to coerce or or did you guys all volunteer for this?
We had close to 100 kids audition.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so it's always really tough, and because we have to go in and we have a big stage, but we can't. We've tried to put, when we did Fiddler on the Roof, we had 75 kids, and we decided we're not going to do that again. It was too many kids on stage, so we decided to we keep it around about 40 to 50 kids, and but there's such good talent that it's always a tough job to try to figure it out.
That is so cool.
And figure out who we have to bring. And we have people like Cole, who've been on the ensemble and then come into a lead. And then we have Ella, who came to the school this year, didn't even know who she was, auditioned, and decided to bring her in as Laurie, because we just loved how she did.
That is very cool. And Ella, now that you thought you were going to get off the hook as well. Everybody's nervous because I think it's Bill. No, I understand. You being on the radio the first time is intimidating, but we're nice people here. But Ella, your role that you're playing. So now for listeners, again, we're talking to two of the leads from the upcoming Mount Logan Middle School production of Oklahoma. Opening February 3rd, right?
Yes.
Opening night. And Ella, your role is complex, right? Do you mind, how old are you?
I'm 13.
13 years old.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell everyone who you're going to be playing and what that entails.
I'm going to be playing Laurie. She's a really complicated character I
Sure.
feel to play because her emotions are just so, it's just like a roller coaster of emotions in the play.
This is honestly amazing, and it's exciting to be able to talk about because, so for those longtime listeners of the show know this, but every Thursday here on the show, Charlie Schill and I do the theater hour, and we talk about what's going on in Cache Valley and what people can get out and see. And one of the themes we always touch on, there's never not something, and so this is I'm excited to be able to spotlight this happening through, middle school students and a middle school production, and to take on something. Well, I mean, I'll just put it bluntly. There were easier choices, Mike.
There are, yeah.
So how did you land on Oklahoma?
Well, what we've done each year, one thing that in discussing this with Jordan and Tana, we always discuss, we want shows with heart.
Sure.
We want something that really people can attach to. So we did Fiddler, which is not an easy one
No.
the first year, because I started directing, and we started directing together.
And I'll be honest, when I saw that you were doing Fiddler, I thought they'll try this one time and never again. And then I saw the announcement of Oklahoma. I'm like, oh no, they're doing it.
Yeah, we did.
That's so cool.
In Fiddler, we did Oliver, which is also another tough one, and Shrek, which people wouldn't think would be, but it has a very deep story. And then Oklahoma
Sure.
was one that actually Jordan brought, and she said, we need to do this. And especially when we look at our talent pools, like we kind of look at the next year, like who can we bring in, what can we do? And
Sure.
we decided to do this one because, as Jordan has put it many times to the kids, this is the granddaddy of them all. This is the big musical, and so we thought we've always been able to get them there, and we kind of keep pushing. We tell them we have high expectations, and they get there. I mean, sometimes we're
so
about 2
cool.
weeks before, we're like, okay, are they going to get there? But they always do. Every time, each year that we've done this, they get this. We also have Tana, who does a great job with helping them with the characterization and figuring out the motions of the character that really push the kids to where we need them to go.
That is, Tana, can you talk about that a little bit? Because again, speaking of middle school age kids playing, as you said, Ella, these complex characters, and yet it is at a very young age. How do you navigate that to get those emotions out, to present what needs to be presented on the stage for believability? That's a unique challenge, right?
It really is a unique challenge. But most of the time when I explain a situation to the students, like these characters are in this situation and these are the emotions they would be feeling, what can you bring to the stage that reflects those emotions? And I have been so impressed with what the kids come up with themselves. This year especially, they have brought so much of their own stuff to their personalities and their character personalities that I sit back a lot of times and I say to Micah and to Jordan, I'm like, these kids are amazing. They are doing this on their own. And we tweak a little thing here and we tweak a little thing there. But overall, these characters are created by these kids.
That is very cool. This is, for listeners, again, we're speaking about Mount Logan Middle School production of Oklahoma, kicking off on February 3rd. Details I've posted to our Facebook page. They will be selling tickets at the door. And Micah, you say there will be online options coming soon.
Yes.
And for the community, get out and support this. Again, here in the studio with us, we have from the staff and coaching and production side of all of this, Micah Combs and Jordan, I got that right, Jordan Burgess, okay, and Tanya Christensen. Then we have two leads from the production here with us, Cole Watkins and Ella Kellstrom joining us as well. And Cole and Ella, let me ask, on that same theme of the complexity of these characters in contrast with your age and the complexity of the production itself, what did you learn? What's your biggest takeaway from just making this happen?
One thing could be like, good things take time. I don't know. It's definitely a long process to have one of these come in hand and play
Sure.
out to be really good. So it's just like, the more you work on it, the better it'll get. And it's really fun to be in something like this and to have this opportunity.
Sure. And for you, Ella?
I agree with Cole. It's really fun to develop the characters, and the more time it takes, I feel like the better we can develop these characters.
Fair enough. That's what about the rest of you?
Well,
Any big takeaways from this production specifically?
I think that each time, because I truthfully wasn't very familiar with Oklahoma.
Sure.
I love musicals, but I wasn't that familiar with it. But that each musical has a heart to it. Well-written musicals have a heart to it that you really can get to, and get to figure out. And that's where it's been fun and helping them get to their characters. Kind of a fun thing with Cole. Cole is, I have him in English class as well, and great kid, nice kid. Would never yell at anybody, so I have to get him to yell at, in one little particular part.
I just met him, and I can already tell that's
Yeah.
probably difficult for you, Cole.
So I was trying to get him to yell, and I was trying to get him to back up and make me back up because he had to say what, and I said, you can't do it until I make you back up. And so finally I thought of something that says, okay, I just talked bad about your sister. And all of a sudden his back just went back and he yelled at me. He's like, okay, there you go. Think about that. Somebody just talked bad about your sister. And that was the one thing that got him to be able to yell. But it's fun figuring out, okay, how can we get them to that? And then kind of see his face is like, oh. And then as soon as he yelled, he just kind of shrieked back. Is that okay? I'm like, yes, please keep doing that. but it's fun to kind of see that them stretch themselves.
Sure.
And it's not just these two. I mean, I would say all 49 kids that are
Everyone
cast,
involved.
Everyone involved is figuring out things, figuring out how to build a character, and one thing we do try to do is make sure each kid gets a spotlight, gets
Sure.
a chance to do that. Because we're always looking for the next person to kind of move up and be that lead,
Sure.
that person. So
That's. I know, everyone's focused on this production. It hasn't opened yet, but if we can jump ahead just a little bit for you, Cole, and you, Ella, where do you want to go with this? What's the, is this something that, well, let me preface that. Was it in your blood before, or is it just now after having done it? And where would you like to go in the future? Is this something you plan to pursue, maybe even as a career?
Yeah, I've been doing musicals my entire life, and
Wow.
I absolutely just love them. So
Very cool. Do you have a favorite?
I really enjoy Hamilton.
Really?
I think it's really fun, and I memorized the entire show.
Wow, that's impressive. What about you, Cole? You have plans to pursue this as a career? Or too early to say?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. This is my third musical I've ever been in.
Oh, really?
So I think it'd be really fun. Like, I really want to try for some summer performances. throughout the summer. I think that'd be really fun, but I'm not. Still kind of trying to figure everything else out.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've got some connections at Pickleville if you need if you need a plug. I'll tell him, Mike. I'll tell him he yells really well.
He does.
That's-
Yeah.
That was along those lines for you, Ella. Was there anything that surprised you about yourself? Something you characteristically wouldn't do that you were able to tap into for this character?
For this character, I agree. Like, there's a lot of parts where I also need to yell.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't exactly yell in front of other people. So having to yell for this show was a challenge, and it took a lot of practice.
Sure. That's something interesting to think about, practicing yelling. That's it. We'll have to start doing that, Bill, here in the studio for the show in general. The Mount Logan Middle School production of Oklahoma opens February 3rd and runs for, I'm sorry, Mike, I know you just told me, but how many days does it run again?
It runs February 3rd to February 11th.
11th, okay.
The Friday, Saturday, and Monday, and then the next Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Very cool. Get out and support
Excuse me,
this.
7 p.m. Sorry, 7 p.m.
7
not
p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. Get out and support this because these kids have worked hard. And again, keeping this type of thing an option in the Valley requires that it draw an audience. And they deserve that audience for the work they've put in, for the quality of the production that you'll see, especially at the middle school age level. This is a rare opportunity, so please make time for Oklahoma opening February 3rd. And we haven't put him on the mic yet, but Frank, if you can for a second, as overseer of all this and all the schools within the district, this also is something that requires a commitment from the district at large, right? To make sure these productions are an option. And that's a goal of yours, right?
Yeah, and in our district, we've made the commitment for a number of years, and Logan City School District has a history of this, that the arts matter.
Sure.
Whether it's the visual arts, performing arts, music, drama, etc., they matter because of the experiences we've heard Ella and Cole refer to tonight about the challenges, the growth opportunities. So regardless of what type of art it is, we want to provide opportunities for students to do it.
That's very nice.
Going back to, most of us have had experiences with art, and as we watch our kids, we have a bunch of students. We have about 12 students at Logan High that just got recognized, and their artwork's going to be in a show down in Ogden. We have, the plays going on at Mount Logan. We're going to have Wait Until Dark at Logan High. We just had their musical there. We have about 50% of the students at Mount Logan Middle School participate in a music class now, and another 30% participate in a visual arts class. So if you're looking at about 83% of your student body engaged in the arts, it makes a difference.
It's important.
And we want to support it.
That's very nice to hear. In a day and age when it's not too big of a gap in between headlines about, a declining focus on humanities and the arts, it's so nice to know that Logan City School District is dedicated to this, keeping it a part of the programs in every school in the district. And you can see the impact it has, too, with Cole and Ella here in the studio, two of the leads from the Oklahoma production. I know, we've joked about it, but I know learning to yell isn't something that most people would chalk up as a career skill. You wouldn't put it on a resume, learn to yell really well. But learning to do that, to become another person as an actor on a stage, to entertain an audience, is not something everyone can do. And it just fascinates me, the skill level that is involved in pulling a production like this off. And let me ask, I just saw the clock, I'll ask fast, but a question for Cole and Ella. As you rehearsed and practiced and got on the stage, is there one part of this that you're still most nervous about? Is it the audience? Is it just being up there in the spotlights? Is there a particular part of a particular song that you're worried is going to go wrong? Are there anxieties?
One for me is trying to make the fight scenes look real. Like we've been working on it. Like sometimes we'll just kind of go off in our own little area in rehearsal, me and my buddy Jeff, and practice our fight scenes. But I just really want to sell those because they're really fun to do. Cause
sure.
Yeah, it's always fun up there, but it's really hard to make them look real. And so that's something I really want to make happen.
And very key to the story in this production, right?
Yeah.
That's for you, Ella.
For me, it's just actually playing the part and making it look believable, so singing the songs correctly and saying my lines correctly, so that people actually come here and they believe that this is actually happening and it's not just middle schoolers putting on a production.
That's, and again, Oklahoma is I've said it already, but there were easier choices. This is a complex one, and it is also one of my favorites. I grew up. My mom liked to wake us up with show tunes in high school when I'd sleep through my alarm, loud, but not playing them, singing them. And her favorites were from Oklahoma. So I've always had a soft spot for a lot of the music in this. And many people will recognize, even if you don't realize it's from Oklahoma, you'll recognize the songs. Was there a favorite song from this production for any of you, and for you as well, Micah?
I think for me, as I've listened to it, there's a fun song, and two of our other leads are Ado Annie and Will Parker, All or Nothing. Yeah. And we practiced it just last night, and or the other night, and they're doing a fantastic job. And I've just really fallen in love with that song because it's a fun song, and the two people that are playing it are just injecting tons of character into it. So it's going to be fantastic.
For you, Cole, a favorite? Something that you want to tell the audience to pay extra close attention for?
I really like one. It's "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning." You gotta walk down the aisle, and it's gonna be really fun. I really like that song. It just has a really fun kind of storyline that begins the show with it.
Very cool. And Ella, you get to wrap us up. A favorite for you?
My favorite is Many a New Days because I'm not in very many dance numbers, so this is one of the only dance numbers that I'm actually in, and it's so fun. It's just with all the girls, and so it's just an absolutely amazing dance number, and the music is so amazing too.
That is very cool. Thanks to everybody for taking the time to do this today, and for our listeners for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to meet everyone, Cole and Ella, for the first time. Mike and Frank, to have you both back in, and to over against the wall there. We've pushed them off the mic. Sorry, Joanna and Tanya. Appreciate your time as well. And first off, appreciate all the work that's gone into this. For listeners, again, the production at Mount Logan Middle School of Oklahoma is coming up February 3rd. And runs at various times between the 3rd and the 11th. You can get tickets at the door. You can also purchase them in advance through the district and the school as well, and online options coming soon, Micah tells us. Thanks to everyone. I'll list everybody's names again here so you have a record that you survived, Cole and Ella. You survived the radio today. They were worried. I think I look scary, but we have Tana Christensen and Jordan Burgess from the production team, music coaches, and making this all happen authentically. Is that a good way to describe your role? This is Micah Combs. You take responsibility for all of this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Superintendent of Logan City School District, Frank Schofield. Thanks again for making all this happen as well. And wrap up with our two stars here on the show today. Two of the leads from the upcoming production opening February 3rd of Oklahoma, Cole Watkins and Ella Kellstrom. And thanks to everyone for taking the time for this today. We'll be back with more of For the People, step into the world of science and the CRISPR research happening at Utah State University. First, though, a look at the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.